is all AI driven right now in terms of marketing. Like when I think about using AI, like I have to use it, and they force you to use it.
Hey, welcome to Prompt and Circumstance. Today I'm joined by Ray and Adam, and we're going to be talking about AI from the perspective of two very seasoned product people. So, for people who don't know who you are, let's get introduced. So we'll start with Adam.
Yeah, my name's Adam Kropf. I've been in product 7, 8 years now. I love working with growing product managers, helping people break into product, mentor through the Toronto Product Management Association, and working with startup founders. So, seeing how the world of AI is evolving, how we shape our products and shape our world is close to my heart.
Thanks for that, Ray.
Yeah, so Ray Kanani here. I've been building and working within product teams for I think over 15 years. My background is in design and entrepreneurship, and I've always been curious about how those things kind of play into product management. I think my perspective on product management is a little bit different than maybe traditional. I think product management is something that if you really care deeply about something, anyone can do, but you got to care. And I think designers are exceptional product managers.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for that. Today, talking about AI, and it's a bit of a means to an end, right? It's a tool in our toolkit. So just curious, just what are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, I mean, I can jump in. I think at like the highest level of what we're seeing is intelligence going to zero in terms of cost. If I'm thinking about like where the puck's going, it's going close to zero. Like I don't know what like the cents are gonna be, but at like a directional level, intelligence is going close to zero. And then just like if that's true, what does that mean? Because I think that like changes a lot of what how we see the world, how we see each other, what we value.
It really changes the dynamics of society as a whole, right? I mean, that's always had a cost to it that simply couldn't be reduced in the same way as today.
Our education system, our the way like what we dedicate our lives to. I think people think like, oh, AI. Like I think there's some people in the world who like AI is like gonna change everything. It's huge. Like the hype is real. Blah blah blah. Right. And I'm kind of on that bandwagon. Like I'm not like hype. Like I'm also like, hey guys, like can we really think about like what this? I fully believe we're on this path, but like, can we think about what this means at that level? And then there's some people who are just like, oh, it's a fad. Like it's like, oh, why? Yeah, so it can like write me a nice email. It can like, create some image that I clearly know is AI. Like, but the trajectory of it, I think, is the more interesting thing to observe. And it's wild.
Yeah, like I think you're right that the trajectory is really sharp. I also think that I feel like we're starting to see some plateaus in use cases, right? So there's been a number of attempts to over leverage an AI, and then companies are pulling back from that as well. So you'll see um, like some of the famous ones that got some pretty big backlash would be guys like Duolingo, who said, "Hey, we're going to replace this entire class of their team with with AI agents or just LLMs, really." And
Klarna is another one. Yeah.
Klarna, yeah, that's the one I was trying to pull the name, but yeah, they pulled back. And then you even look at like Salesforce, who's saying, "Hey, we're going to have AI is going to sell all the products in the future," and then we're hiring 2,000 SDRs right now. So it's kind of like what you say and what you do isn't always consistent. And I think that the cost of intelligence is going down, but I think the value of expertise is actually going to go up significantly, because you're going to be removing some of the ceremonies or like some of the deliverables that maybe were required to pass information from human to human. But if you can, add that context to something that's more readily accessible, then you're going to spend less time in meetings sharing context, and spending more time, hopefully, for product people out in the field actually gaining that context, because your LLM is going to be, or any AI tool is only going to be as good as the context you can feed it. And I think that's where product people are going to spend more time, is developing their own context and then being able to really discern what is the right answer versus like what is a believable answer, which is what you typically get from an LLM. It's not always the right answer, but it's usually believable. And the expertise is how you apply it.
So it's a great time for me to tell you about Colab. Colab is a product that will help you validate and build a product that you could run as a side hustle. This is great for product managers or any professionals who are looking for a way to set up their side business, but don't really have enough time to do the initial market testing and building. They'll hand you a working product and they'll even find your first paying customers. Click on the link below and let them know that David and Elon sent you for $250 off Validate and Build.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, with expertise being more valuable and intelligence perhaps being more accessible, I'm curious how the both of you are using or deliberately not using some of these AI tools, perhaps every day or perhaps in certain workflows.
Yeah, so like for me, something that's been helpful is like, what am I missing? So like I'll just like jump on like this is my perspective on like I feel strongly about this, but like idea, belief, dot dot dot, like tell me what I'm missing. And then it will come back with a bunch of things, and like some of it might be like, oh, that's something I should look into. And then I'll spend some time looking into that. So super helpful there. I think even like ideas, like so if we're like brainstorming some like a headline for a social media post or like promo stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that, I'll just like generate 100, 500 diverse ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Like 99% of them are just gonna be like, what? But
Yeah.
sometimes there's like, oh, that's like a spark, that's a seed of something interesting that we
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have thought of. Let's spend a bit of time going down that path and like integrating
Yeah,
there.
that's a really good example there, Ray, as a thought partner almost, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And then as like you said, taking advantage of the cheap intelligence to generate all those different possibilities. Sometimes I feel really bad. Maybe I anthropomorphize AI too much, where it's like it generated these five, and I'm like, no, 10 more, no, 10 more.
I
I
just go,
feel
I honestly, I'm just like 100, like 200. Like,
100.
I
Yeah.
think it's funny because sometimes we get into this thing of like, oh, is a human being behind this? It's like,
Hmm.
no, like you say like 10,000, it'd be like, cool, like, sure. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I think there's like, we getting out of that mindset of like, oh, it's doing a lot of work. It's like, yeah, I mean, computational maybe, but like,
Yeah.
do we load up a website that's like big and we're like, oh shit, like was a lot of work for that website
Yeah.
to.
I feel bad for that service area. Yeah.
I think one other thing I just want to touch on with AI that I think maybe people might not realize is, and the usage for me, as like someone who has an online shop, selling like e-commerce, and a lot of my focus is on marketing and kind of cost of acquisition stuff like that. But like every platform, Google, Meta, Pinterest, is all AI driven right now in terms of marketing. So like gone are the days of like audience, like what's your audience? What's your keywords? What's your like done? Like when I think about using AI, like I have to use it, and they force you to use it
Mm.
um, to get customers, right? So I find that super interesting. That it, like overnight, like just yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
No.
talking a lot about um, like how you chain AI tools together, right, to get an even better outcome. So you talk about like sparring partner, but there's also I've had a lot of success using like ChatGPT projects to really have like all the context around a specific problem space. You can include transcripts, meetings, and then even better, if you, what I found to be really successful, if there's like a really hairy problem, is you just go for a walk. And I just put ChatGPT into voice mode, and I just prompt it to kind of like really tease out thoughts. And you can just have a stream of consciousness just dumping context or sharing ideas. And then I actually make ChatGPT pretty argumentative a lot of the time, to really push push my perspectives. And what I've been finding is within projects, it's doing a much better job of recalling previous conversations and then being like, well, you also told me this. Does this also apply to this scenario?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a really good way of challenging yourself. And I've always used the terminology or the mental model of like, hey, this is an intern. But objectively, I think it's like stepping up from intern at this point now that it's able to carry better context and learn from previous conversations and outcomes.
It's an intern with 20 PhDs.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The advanced voice mode for GPT, it certainly is quite a novel experience for those who haven't used it before. So I do recommend giving that a go if you haven't tried it yet. It feels and again maybe I'm anthropomorphizing too much. It feels like an oddly human way of interacting with an otherwise mechanical system. And what I've heard is that some people get attached to the voice in particular. So if you say, "Hey, look, Claude, you could also talk to Claude, and it has these other better things or whatever," the person might actually feel like, "Well, this is like a new person. Like I don't know you."
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's why Scarlett Johansson got so pissed off. It's like the voice is such a big part of that. One thing with just on that note that I used it for with our little one because I wanna we got some French books from the library. I don't speak French, but I wanted like I was help reading it. I'm like, am I pronouncing this correctly? What does this mean say in English? Like I'd love to be able to tell her that, right? So it just had the like Gemini on like the camera mode and told it like I'm reading this book, like help me if I pronounce it incorrectly, like jump in and then tell us like what it means in English, stuff like that. And it was great. I totally understand like why people jump to the whole like pin AI pin thing because it's
Mhm.
literally yeah, like you want AI to like just have all the context of what you're saying. I totally understand why, because I'm just holding the phone like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, no, it's very true that the idea certainly is solid to have some kind of AI pin. Um, I wonder whether it is currently too early. We've seen lots of examples where it's a great product, but it's just not the right time for it. So maybe the tech just isn't there yet for it to be fast enough for it to be able to recognize enough stuff. Um, Maybe the hardware isn't there yet for it to be light enough because that was a problem with one of the pins, by the way, is that it was just too heavy.
right.
So if you're wearing a t-shirt like I think all of us are right now, it would just drag it down. It would just like yank your shirt down and it would look funny, which is why on all of the demo videos they were wearing heavy sweaters just to hide that fact.
We're getting into product here, which is interesting, but I think like wait till people start hacking things together with what they have before you start building the thing, right? Like if you start seeing people like tape their phones to their chest, like
Yeah.
and they're willing to do that because the value is so high, then yeah, like go for it. And I think that's what we're going to start seeing. We're going to start seeing people taking like existing hardware and creating like 3D printed containers for it to like do certain things. I don't know what they are. And then we'll start to see like, oh, that's the way.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
I
really
Yeah.
good
think
point, right?
I think the real um, thing is that it's not always clear exactly what problem it should be solving at any given time. And I think that like interacting with it won't feel natural until it can start to learn your patterns, right? So anticipating, oh, when this person's on a walk in a new city, they want to learn about local landmarks, right? That was one of the demo videos. Versus like if you're walking in the city you live in, then it probably you don't want it to be talking about that. You want it to be reminding you about your next meeting or asking you questions about stuff or following up on stuff that you've set reminders for. And I think it's just such a massive amount of possible problems to be solved at any time without any specific direction that it just doesn't. Yeah, you'll need to like train it on yourself before it's really going to be a helpful assistant. And again, that's, same with human assistants, right? Is them learning your habits and needs and then anticipating them
Right.
in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think like a human assistant is going to sit down with you and have some questions, and then learn through observation. And oh, he likes coffee that way, or like he likes this or this, and then I think we should get to a place where it just happens. Like I don't ask for it, just like like you said, walking down the street, and it's like, Adam's interested in that type of architecture. Does he know this? Let him know, right? Like without you being like, hey, tell me more about that building. Like it's yeah,
Yeah. So the onboarding or like orientation of your new AI assistant needs to maybe more so mirror the way you would with a human assistant as well. Like Apple's been trying to guess what you want on your phone for a long time, right? So things like, oh, on Tuesdays you're normally driving to this destination. Do you want this Apple Maps recommendation and things like that? And they have the compute and they have way more information than the Pinwheel. So it just feels like they're falling behind given the massive hardware advantage they have. And if they could chain together things like their Apple Watch for, motion and the AirPods for, voice in the ear and dictation, but they
I
just
think they
haven't.
will. I think it's gonna happen, and they'll be late, but they'll be better. Like I think a standard classic Apple. Like we're
That seems
late, but
very
we're
Apple
better. Like the
strategy.
Apple Watch is like we're late, but we're better. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Also liquid glass. No, no. So we're moving on to the topic of sort of like more product management skills and talking about problems to solve and demand validation, those kinds of things. So looking now at this new era where AI is very prominent, not only in the software that we work on, but also the tooling that we have. I'm curious what you think are the kind of competencies or skills that would be very important for product people to double down on in this new era.
I can start off with that one. I think the one we've already talked about is like context, right? Is spending more time in the field, getting first person knowledge. There'll be tooling to support maybe missing some meetings where you can just dump in transcripts and adds it to the context window. But being able to run good discovery and ask good questions. Maybe there's a future where, there's overlays to your discovery sessions informed by former context, right, to help guide conversations, or give you like what Ray was talking about, maybe not 500 questions, but maybe it gives you 5, right? So as you're talking, it's regenerating a list of possible different paths, but really it's about running good discovery and then discerning and then storytelling. I think is going to become even more important because I think there's going to be um, almost a higher cost of time for people as we go forward, right? So the patterns of automation reducing headcount, I think this is definitely going to follow that path. Being more influential with the time you do have with people is going to be even more important as we go forward.
Makes sense. Yeah, yeah. It it definitely is one of the soft skills that AI hasn't quite addressed yet. The discovery aspect of it. Yeah. What's your take on it, Ray?
Now is a great time to talk about Querio.ai. Querio is a powerful tool for getting data insights into your products. It allows you to ask natural language questions, and then it will find the answers in your data. It saves hours a week for me, the product team I work with, and our data team. And just for our listeners, they'll give you a 2-month free trial if you sign up today and let them know that David and Elon sent you.
yeah, I think like I go to my first curiosity is like, what is a product person? Right? Like what like let's get definition on that, right? Like because I think is it just someone who works in product? Because I think like that's gone. Like to be like, oh, I work in products, I'm a product person. Like what's that mean? Like you have a title that says product in it. I think I would say like spend some time and really understand who you are. Like how many of us have had that opportunity to just like who like what do I care about? Like so I I've interviewed people. I'm like, or just talk to people like, what space are you in? Oh, I'm in this space. I'm like, why? I was like, oh, it, it was the job, and I get it. Like that. That's like, where we've been at. We take the job. Like, do you care about that space? Yeah, as much as it's the job, right? Like, would you do it if you weren't getting paid? No, absolutely not. So
Right.
like, what would you do if you weren't getting paid for it?
Hmm.
Like, what would you wake up and be like, I gotta do this. I gotta work on this problem. This problem is really important to me. It's a problem that I know others have or I have, or like I just think the world would be better if we solved for this. And it's not a question of like how big is the market? Am I gonna get investment? Like and like let go of all those things because they do not matter in the future because AI will figure that stuff out, and you can't compete. So like and I'm thinking like future proof. I'm not thinking tomorrow. Like tomorrow, hey, you want to be like you want to go do something that has a big market that you can raise a bunch of money for, sure. Like go ahead. But like I'm thinking 5, 10, 15 years from now, like what's the thing that's going to be like future proof? It's your passion. It's what you care about. AI can't take that away. AI doesn't care.
Hmm.
AI
Hmm.
cares about everything. Like I mean that's so like how are you going to compete? You're going to care about something that is core to you and your lived experience and who you are and who you love and care about. And you're going to use AI to help you solve that problem to Adam's point, like you're going to be the subject matter expert because there's no one else who cares more deeply and doing something about it than you. And if there are, then you're going to work with those people and you're going to have a great time working together.
I love that.
But you gotta like just take some time and think about like, who am I? And like, what do I care about?
Yeah, that's so true. Where with these AI tools, the possibilities are even more grand, right? Like if it's something like, oh, I want to be able to do something, oh, but I don't know how to create like that, the initial prototype, let's say, to maybe validate that. Like now that is possible, or I don't know, I don't have the I don't know where to look to find this information. Now you can have a tool to help you out with that.
Yeah, yeah. No, totally. I think one of the limiting factors for a lot of people when they have had things that they want to work on is, oh, I got to convince an engineer that this is an important problem, or to like
Hmm.
quit Google or whatever, because to come work and build it for us. Like, no, don't have to worry about
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
Like maybe at
Wow.
a certain level, but like to initial get off the ground, get traction, prove it out. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. We ought to make sure that what it is that we do is what we want to do. It does bring joy to us, like real joy, as opposed to like, I have the joy of a paycheck necessarily, right?
I was talking to someone the other day, and he's like, "Oh, um, someone should build like a drone thing, like something to like, if you're being attacked by a drone, like it will stop you from being attacked by a drone." I'm like, "Oh, is that something you really care about?" It's like, "No, I just think it's a really big market." I'm like, "Oh, that's nice. Like, cool." I'm so like, yeah, let other people do. Let other people who care deeply about these things do those things.
Yeah, one of the common startup founder advice for a long time was like solve a problem that you care about, right? I think that's really what you're saying, right? Especially from like the early stage perspective. I think there's also a balance between it's a paycheck and you can also care about it over time, right? So something I've found is like really thinking about the people behind the products, right? What are my end users? what's their daily life? Can I make their daily life? Because maybe they go to work and they don't love what they do, but can I like delight them just a little bit more? Can I make their daily life a little bit more enjoyable? And then can I do that at scale, right? Can I increase the reach and impact of the products that I work on to reach even more people and delight even more people? So um, that's where I've been able to find a lot of passion, is just by, again, meeting people and spending time with them and seeing, and especially I love bringing new people onto the products I work on, because they're like, man, this was so much harder before, and like this is a step change for me, and I'm like, that feels good.
Yeah. Yeah. So, when we're thinking about the future and where we're going with all of this and product management and AI, curious what the two of you are working on these days that you want to let everybody know about, and yeah, where can people find you?
Yeah, sure, I can jump in. So so as I mentioned, we sell online where we make jigsaw puzzles. Um, which I think is super interesting because my background is working with technology companies and very tech-centered products, and chatting with someone and they were like, so where's the technology? It's like like are you gonna do like AR jigsaw puzzle and stuff like
Mm,
that? And I'm just like, I actually think like people really want to have experiences that don't involve any technology. Like I think as we have AI and technology, just like every in our fridges, in our cars, in our like clothes, right? Like we're gonna have a premium on just like no tech experience. I think though the technology is like how you buy it, how we make it, how we connect with artists, um, like technology all the way through up until your puzzle experience, and then it's just like get the technology out of the way and just allow you to have a great experience. My partner's really into puzzles. That's how it kind of came about. And we just wanted to build a puzzle company that reflected things that we care deeply about. And so I started getting into it. And like, I, so if I'm watching like Netflix or something, I'm on my phone. Like, honest, like YouTube, I'm on my phone. Like, I'm watching TV, I'm on my phone.
mm,
But when you're doing a puzzle, like hours will pass, and I'll be like, wow, I uh, didn't touch my phone once, and it feels really great. And so like that, I think that's what we're selling is a really great analog experience that pulls you away from all the tech and allows you just to enjoy the art and enjoy each other's company. So we're doing that. It's called Good Fortune Puzzle Co. You can Google it, find us on Instagram, and we have an online store, and we're releasing a new collection soon, a new line of products that we're excited about. So yeah,
yeah, and I've seen the art looks phenomenal. I just love every single piece.
yeah.
It's
And
great.
sorry,
Yeah.
we just like this kind of speaks to the brand that we're building. But so this is a tote bag that we released with one artist, and we care deeply about like how do we counterweight some of the energy that we're seeing in the world. There's a lot of there's people who have kind of an outsized weighted voice that we are not a fan of, that we would love to create products and a brand that kind of creates space for a different perspective.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Ray. Adam, what's going on with you, and where can people find you?
Yeah, probably the best place to find me is just on good old LinkedIn. In terms of what I'm working on, yeah, I love working with small businesses and startup founders and stuff like that. And similar to what Ray was talking about, really enjoying the offline experience. I find that I spend a lot of my non-working hours in analog experiences, DIY projects. I've done some theater recently. I'll be helping out with that more, and even escape rooms and stuff like that. So really, just being intentional about the time and being better at separating when am I in a digital world and when I'm in the physical world, and trying not to be in the digital world when I'm with my people that I care about. So those are kind of things that are top of mind for me.
Great. Well, thank you both for coming on today. It was a real pleasure. I enjoyed our time together.
Thanks for having me.
All right. See everybody next time.